Five stars that'll blow your mind. Number 5. Hypergent. A rather boring type of star in comparison to the rest on this list. I couldn't resist including hypergents just for their sheer size. It's hard for us to imagine just how humongous these monsters truly are, but the current largest known star, NML Cygni, has a radius 1,650 times that of our Sun, or 7.67 astronomical units. For comparison, the orbit of Jupiter sits 5.23 astronomical units away from our Sun, and Saturn is 9.53 astronomical units away. Because of their enormous size, most hypergents only live for less than a couple of dozen million years at the most, before going supernova. The hypergent Betelgeuse, which sits in the constellation Orion, is expected to go supernova within the next couple of 100,000 of years. When it does, it'll outshine the Moon for over a year, as well as being visible during the day. Number 4. Hypervelocity star. Unlike all of the other entries on this list, hypervelocity stars are otherwise normal stars with no interesting or distinguishing features, besides the fact that they are hurtling through space at insane speeds. With a velocity in excess of 1 or 2 million miles per hour, hypervelocity stars are the result of stars wandering too close to the galactic center, which ejects the stars at ultra-high speeds. All known hypervelocity stars in our galaxy are traveling at over twice the escape velocity, and are therefore destined to exit the galaxy altogether, and drift in darkness for the rest of their lives. Number 3. Cepheids. Cepheids, or Cepheid variable stars, refers to stars with a mass typically between 5 and 20 times that of our star, which grows larger and smaller at regular intervals, giving it the appearance that it is pulsing. Cepheids expand due to the incredibly high pressure that is experienced within their dense core, but once they have grown in size, the pressure drops and they contract once more. This cycle of growing and shrinking continues until the star reaches the end of its life. Number 2. Black dwarf. If a star is too small to become a neutron star or simply explode into a supernova, it will eventually evolve into a white dwarf, an extremely dense and dull star which has expended all of its fuel and is no longer experiencing nuclear fission at its core. Often no larger than the Earth, white dwarfs slowly cool via the emission of electromagnetic radiation. Over ridiculously long periods of time, white dwarfs eventually cool enough to stop emitting light and heat altogether, thereby becoming what is known as a black dwarf, almost invisible to the observer. Black dwarfhood marks the end of stellar evolution for many stars. It's believed that no black dwarfs currently exist in the universe, as it takes so long for them to form. Our Sun will degenerate into one in around 14.5 billion years. Number 1. Neutron star. Once a star has gone supernova, only a neutron star usually remains. Neutron stars are extremely small and extremely dense balls of, you guessed it, neutrons. Many times more dense than the nucleus of an atom, and with a size less than a dozen kilometers in diameter. Neutron stars are a truly remarkable product of physics. Due to the extreme density of neutron stars, any atoms which come into contact with their surface are almost instantaneously ripped apart. All the non-neutron subatomic particles are torn apart into their constituent quarks, before being rearranged into neutrons. This process releases a huge amount of energy, so much so that a collision between a neutron star and an average-sized asteroid would release a gamma-ray burst with more energy than our Sun will ever produce during its entire lifetime. For this reason alone, any neutron stars in close proximity to our solar system, within a couple of hundred light years, possess a very real threat of blasting the Earth with lethal radiation.